Alright, bit dramatic. Can we skip to the part where someone talks earnestly at the camera, possibly holding a beverage to make them seem more approachable? Cause, oh my gee, I drink coffee too. We must have so much in common. Well, joke's on you. I only drink whiskey. And even if you were holding a glass of that, unless it's for me, it would only make me jealous, because there's some whiskey out there that I now cannot drink. Always a dark day when I don't get literally everything.
Hey guys, are demons real? Do they exist? And can they possess people?
No, no, and no. Were you expecting more from me? Oh, no, you don't understand. Some people were telling me in a recent video that I talk too much, so I have decided to try this thing where I just don't interject with the bants and jokes and shiz, because obviously the reason you're coming to my channel is as the best way to watch the original video uninterrupted, and I should actually just re-up them wholesale. Can't see a problem with that, can you? Apart from the fact that I did just spend a whole paragraph talking about it. You know, they might have a point. But what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. Back to talking shit.
Well, some say that demons do not exist because people just have psychological problems.
Well, no, not really. People say demons do not exist because demons aren't real. I know, wild notion, but hear me out. You see, for people to believe in something existing, they tend to want this unreasonable thing they call proof. Now, obviously, that's just completely unfair. Especially when talking about things for which there isn't any evidence, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately, for you. And on the psychological problems thing, first off, wow, nice haha all people with mental health conditions are cuckoo meme, class. And second, I will be amazed if you can do anything to distinguish demonic possession from any and all psychological conditions. I'll be betting that's a big nah.
Well, let me tell you, these people have never encountered or experienced somebody that is demon-possessed.
You know what? That's true. It's just that it's true for them and also you and whomsoever in your audience that thinks that they have had encounters with or experienced demonic possessions themselves because, well, see last comment. And I'll go into more detail as we get further in.
A Satanist or a real satanic ritual.
Quick point on the Satanist thing. A large, and I mean large, percentage of Satanists are essentially atheists, with various reasons for adopting the moniker. Some for the memes, some as a philosophy, some as more of a political act. Now, that doesn't help when you hear the yummy argument of, well, you all atheists just worship Satan. But seriously, most Satanists don't worship Satan, they don't worship anything, and don't do rituals in any way other than a theatrical manner. So even if you did meet a Satanist doing a ritual, sorry boss, but there's not demons expected to be showing up. And if they do, it's probably a guy in a mask called Derek. Derek the Satanist. That's funny.
So let me make this very clear. Yes, there are a lot of people who have psychological problems. That's different.
But not in any way that we are going to adequately define, perhaps other than they say it's demons or religion is mentioned in general. As we all know, no mentally ill person has ever been religious. Ever. That's a commonly believed fact.
But there are also people who are demon-possessed. The devil is real and demons are real. This should not be taken lightly.
It shouldn't. Who knows? Because I was going to be taking it so goddamn lightly. I'll have to do a big serious instead. Okay, serious sick. Demons are in fact real. Nah, can't do it. It's too silly, soz boss.
How do I know this? Well, I grew up with it. For me, this is something that's very, very normal.
Grew up with it, were possessed, or grew up with it, saw possession? Because, well, that's two somewhat separate kettles of fish. If you were, then your brain has likely interpreted an episode or traumatic event as something you could more easily comprehend. People often experience demons, monsters, even aliens in order to cope with certain situations that are out of their control. And if you saw it, depending on the exact circumstance, it can be different. But if it was, say, due to an unstable relative, the same kind of coping mechanism can come into play, but just from an external perspective. And there are, of course, many, many other things it could be. except demonic possession. Because while inner demons in the colloquial sense can be very real, in the biblical sense, they simply are not. But mostly because the Bible is a very poor source for anything.
So in this video, I'm going to share my story with you, and I'm also going to show you some real footage of demon possession. I'm going to say this again, this is not something that you should take lightly.
Alright, cool. That sounds legitimately interesting. It's not going to be demon possessions, but I think I've banged that drum quite enough for now. And you know what? Even though I may make jokes, I make jokes about everything because I'm an asshole, but that doesn't mean that I don't take mental health very, very seriously. Spirituality, on the other hand...
It is not a joke. It is not a joke, but it is a real world that we live in. The world is not just physical, but spiritual.
Oh hey, that thing I mentioned. What a shock. But, no, it isn't. At least not in any literal sense. You can be spiritual, but some kind of ethereal hoo-ha? Well, if you want me to buy that, you are going to have to bring some heavy-hitting proof. Or medium boshing proof. Or even really softly tap-tap-tapping proof. I'm saying that I don't think that there is any, so if you bring some or any kind, I will be legit surprised and kind of pleased.
So before I start, I just want to pray for protection for me and also for you guys. So let's do it.
Oh, prayer. Good. Actually though, now that I think about it, can you do me a favour? I really need to disarm this bomb. Look, don't ask me why it's here. It's a whole other thing. But I wouldn't mind a bit of the old God armor in case something goes wrong. Yeah? Cool.
God, I just ask for protection from you, for me, and also the people that's listening to this video right now.
Excellent. Right. Now I can just cut the hot pink wire. Wait, why are they all hot pink? Well, screw it. I got protection, son. Well, that didn't work. Do you know how long it's going to take me to grow back that arm? Like 7 seconds. Pfft, it's like God isn't even real or something.
Protect us from all kinds of evil, from the devil, or the attacks from any kind of demons. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, you weren't finished. Oh well, new arm now anyway. You know, funny thing, I think I preferred the old one. Well, can't wait to break it in. Masturbation joke.
Alright, now before I start and just go into my story, I want to turn to the Bible very quickly.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, that's actually the first time I've said that where it might be kind of appropriate. You are doing that for God's sake, which is hilarious because he doesn't real. So you're doing it for literally no reason. Good job.
Just to share with you how the Bible warns us to be wary of demonic forces that is trying to corrupt and influence us.
Yeah, that's all it's trying to do. And to do it, all you have to do is follow its every word. So, you know, no ulterior motive for it to tell you about the demon boys or anything. No. Look, let's just find out once and for all, shall we? Hey, King God, are demons and possessions real?
I guarantee it. Would I lie?
Oh well, never mind. I am convinced.
Now in James 2 verse 19 we read, "You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble."
Well, of course they would know. But if they do, and they're so scared of him, then why would they even bother to mess with the all-powerful God's stuff? I think that's just asking for trouble.
And then in James 4 verse 7 it says, "Therefore submit to God."
So submit to God because even the wicked and one assumes powerful demons are scared of him. Presumably because of the unspeakable things he will do to them. I don't know about you, but I don't respond well to threats, implied or otherwise. If your God is such a great guy and worthy of my devotion, that should be self-evident and not something that only suddenly becomes apparent when he says he's going to kick my teeth in. Classic abuse tactic.
Resist the devil and he will flee from you.
I don't know, man. He's pretty irresistible. Look at that hot bod and those smouldering eyes and... Wait, is that a glass of whiskey? Why, that Oh, it's for me. Well, hello there, my dark lord. Yes, I am swung over by a single drink. Cheap date, me.
And then in Luke 8 verse 1 to 2. "Now it came to pass afterward that he went through every city and village, preaching and bringing the glad tidings of the kingdom of God. and the 12 were with him.
The 12? Oh, right, the 12 disciples. And wait, don't tell me. I know this. It was John, James, Thomas, Andrew, Simon, Sleepy, Bashful, Happy, Sneezy, Grumpy, Dopey, and Doc. Nailed it. Take that, Sunday school. And you're least likely to remember the name of the 12 Disciples Award. Which is a really weird thing to give someone an award for now that I think about it.
Now listen to this. And certain women who had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary, called Magdalene, out of whom had come 7 demons.
Oh, I hate to tell you that that's actually a mistranslation. The original word used for out of also meant into. It was sort of representative of a transitory state. Very interesting, but yeah, it's actually supposed to read Mary called Magdalene, into whom had come several demons. It's a very subtle difference. And no, I didn't make that up, and I didn't make this whole video just so I could make that joke. I mean, true statement.
Then if we turn to Luke 8 verse 30, here we go.
Oh, we get it. The Bible has references to demons. You only actually had to give a couple of examples, and I'm running out of ways of making fun of the quotes. And I definitely peaked after the last 2, if I'm completely honest. Let's just skip ahead, although there is one more I want to cover because of his conclusion on it.
He gave them power over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. You see, there's a difference between diseases, sickness, and evil spirits.
Actually, to me, that sounded like they were saying that sickness/disease and demons go hand in hand. That once they push out the evil spirit, whoosh goes the illness, which is of course nonsense. And the caveat,
sometimes evil spirits can also cause sickness and disease as well.
Still doesn't follow, because for 90% of medical issues, well, we know how they are caused. They thought it was scary boys because back then they didn't know about germs or viruses or whatever else because they didn't really do the science. And it's foolish to use the Bible as anything other than a storybook and being really, really picky about what morals you take from it, you uncircumcised, mixed fabric wearing, double bacon cheeseburger eating bastards. You know who you are, and you are sinners.
Now there's a lot more verses about demons, but let me just read to you one more and then we're going to continue with my story.
No, goddammit, please just skip to your bloody story before I take that book and I make you eat it.
Alright, now I grew up in an atmosphere as a young boy where my father drove out a lot of demons in people, like this one.
So you grew up indoctrinated and have never questioned the validity of what your parent or parents taught you. And let me guess, you also have absolutely no medical training to discern what is and isn't a psychological condition, or even the experience of one of those conditions to understand what it is and how it can affect someone. I would say I am surprised, but I'm not. I'm mostly just deeply disappointed. Okay, I think I've figured it out now. People who have been possessed by demons have really blurry faces. Honestly, that's kind of amazing. I didn't expect there to be something to identify it. Unless there's some way that you could alter a video to do that, but that's witchcraft, and the Bible prohibits that, so it can't possibly be.
Now the video you just saw was where my dad prayed for a woman that used to be a Satanist, a very high-ranking Satanist. They used to call her the wife of the devil.
In all honesty, it's very disturbing to see, if genuinely unwell and not some sort of theatrics, this poor person being treated by your charlatan dad. I can't imagine the amount of damage done to people like her by pieces of crap like him and others doing the same pointless nonsense. These are people who needed genuine help and were instead led to these who seek only to profit one way or another from their suffering, be it money or status. Basically, mate, I think your dad's a prick, and you are too for pushing his garbage.
And he prayed for her right next to my room, which was, well, his room was the study room, and me and my brothers, we were just sleeping right next to that room. So he was praying for this woman a few times, and also for other women and men as well that were demon possessed. So this was something that was very normal for us.
Right, but normal for you doesn't mean normal for anyone else, or correct, and certainly not right. And still, you are yet to distinguish what makes a person demon-possessed over just having something wrong with them. And I have the funny feeling you won't even try. It'll just be, here are some possessed people, because I said so. Well, because my dad said so, which frankly is just really lazy.
It wasn't weird or strange for us to hear weird sounds that was not human. And I could clearly see the power of God, because he always freed these people from demons if they really wanted to commit to him and become a Christian.
Ah, even better, the good old, you didn't want it enough defense. Always a favourite. It's just the best way. When your BS doesn't do anything, you put your hands up and blame the person, and not the fact that your thing doesn't work and that all your successes are actually flukes based on sheer luck, or more likely, timing of them just getting better.
So for me, the world that I grew up in is a world where I clearly knew that God existed, but also that the devil is real.
You clearly knew, based on effectively nothing. I mean, you don't even say, oh, I met some people who had issues that were obviously nothing to do with possession, and yet you know for sure that they are different things. Do you even listen to yourself?
And demons are also real, and they can possess people, but they're not stronger than God.
Oh, well, I guess that means that they are in the negative numbers of effectiveness, seeing as God does literally nothing. Damn poor demons. I think you should stop picking on them.
I remember I had a friend over once. I won't tell you his name, but
he's definitely real and not imaginary, because I had actual friends who liked me and were allowed to come over and see me and my POS father because their real parents were even worse parents than mine.
We used to be really good friends in primary school, and he came over to visit, and he just felt uncomfortable. He just wanted to go home. I never really understood why, because he never told me.
Probably something to do with understanding when you're in a messed up environment where people are being mistreated on the regs in the name of exorcisms. That and probably all the screaming women, I imagine.
So he went home, called his mom, and then years later, we went to the same high school. And then he told me, Daniel, did you know that I was afraid because of the woman that was there? And he explained to me, and I never knew.
Oh my God, it was because of the screaming women. It's astonishing that this shit wasn't dealt with by the authorities. Jesus.
For me, this was normal life. For what was weird for me is when I went to a friend's house, and I would see their mom and dad screaming at each other, cursing at each other. For me,
while that's not impossible, I am going to call that a story from the big book of crap that never happened. Trying to justify your own messed up home life by pointing out that other people have crappy home lives? No, that's not how this works. This shit is just as messed up as it ever was, regardless of anything happening elsewhere. And you need to accept that. I am done. Why, hello there, you terrible people. The best kind of people. It's me, Sir Sick. Could you not tell? I just wanted to remind you all to subscribe, push the bell icon, and to check out my various social media things for other equally pointless content. And more importantly, to make sure that you know when a video comes out. Recently, it seems YouTube doesn't want you to know because I am so handsome, famous, and good at the sex, and they are jealous, obviously. It really helps me out if you do, and apparently if you are notification belled up, they have reset it or something, so check them settings to make sure you're getting what you're supposed to. Hopefully we can get my numbers back up, because my self-worth is directly related to how many internet people show up on my videos. I'm sure that's completely healthy, right? Also, don't forget to panic buy Sick Brand merch, and don't forget to panic crowd support the channel. Thanks very much.